I didn't expect the sting to land so cleanly. Mom's voice carried across the marble lobby, bright and oblivious as ever, her words slicing deeper than she intended. Cheapest room, money's tight. I felt the familiar ache in my chest, an old bruise. Pressed again, kept my hands still, fingers laced, expression calm. I'd learned that from him, from the man who taught me how to hide hurt until it hardened into something useful. The resort doors sighed open behind us, and the cold evening air brushed my neck, the same doors I'd slipped through 2 years earlier. On the night my life cracked in half, we met in a classroom that smelled like chalk and ambition. He smiled at me like he already had the roadmap to our future, and I believed him. We built dreams the way kids stack blocks. It's too high, it's too fast, beautifully doomed. When we married, my parents adored him. They repeated his praises like hymns. He was the golden boy. I was the girl lucky enough to stand beside him. Funny how love turns you blind first, then deaf, then stupid. The shift was small at first. A locked phone, nights working late, a sudden need for privacy after years of openness. I told myself it was stress, exhaustion, anything benign. But lies. Have a scent sharp metallic. Once you catch it, you can't unsmell it. The truth arrived quietly, the way ruin often does. Message glowing on his screen when he stepped into the shower. A woman's name I didn't recognize. A thread of conversations that didn't require imagination to interpret. Didn't cry, didn't scream, didn't confront him. I simply closed the phone and set it exactly where he'd left it. Something in me cooled, not broken, frozen. Ice preserves what fire destroys. People assume revenge begins with rage. It doesn't. It begins with clarity. He wanted out, but politely. Without losing my income, my connections, or the business I had quietly inherited after my grandfather died a business, my husband never bothered to understand. A resort chain spanning 3 countries. A resort chain I became CEO of at 26. A resort chain I managed entirely under my maiden name. He thought I still worked administration. Cute, so I planned carefully, precisely like stitching a wound closed. First, I told him I understood his growing distance. Then I suggested we separate finances for transparency. He agreed quickly. Too quickly. Guilt makes people compliant. Next, I handed our lawyers documents I'd prepared months before, pre-drafted ironclad. Signed every page thinking I was protecting him from my imaginary financial instability. He didn't realize he had just forfeited. Claim to everything. I let him leave thinking he'd escaped with dignity. Let him move in with the woman who sent heart emojis at 2 a.m. Let him believe he'd traded up. He had no idea the ground beneath him was gone. Back in the present, the lobby manager stepped forward. "Welcome back, Miss Thompson," he said with a bow. "Shall I prepare the penthouse as usual?" My mother froze. My father blinked slowly. My sister dropped her purse. I turned to them, the same calm expression on my face. "Oh," I said softly. "They booked me the cheapest room, but I suppose I'll upgrade." The manager looked horrified. "Ma'am, your suite is always reserved." Their eyes widened, panic and realization colliding. It was almost art. I felt him before I saw him, my ex-husband rounding the corner with his new lover, clinging to his arm. His expression collapsed the moment he recognized me. "Wait, why are you here?" he asked, voice cracking under forced confidence. I stepped closer, allowing the truth to settle like dust on his shoulders. "This is my resort," I said. "All of them are." His lover's smile died, his jaw clenched, his eyes darted, calculating an escape. "There must be a mistake," he whispered. "There was," I agreed. "You," the manager interrupted gently. "Miss Thompson, shall I remove this man from the premises?" My ex inhaled sharply, humiliation blooming across his face. My parents watched, stunned, finally seeing the daughter they underestimated. "No," I said. "Let him stay. He paid for his room. He should enjoy it. Well, he still can." He didn't know yet that tomorrow, his company's contract, dependent entirely on my resorts, would be terminated. That his finances would shatter the way mine once did at his hands. But he would. As I stepped into the elevator, the doors sliding shut between us, I felt something unfamiliar settle in my chest. Not triumph, not vengeance, just peace. The kind that comes only after reclaiming what was stolen. Piece by piece, breath by breath. People mistake silence for weakness. Is where plans are born. And mine had just finished blooming.